Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark Swimming Chicken Dinosaur Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jay Therizinosaurus Gluet. I just like saying Therizinosaurus. It's a fun, long word. And welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, where we've covered the Deep Blue Sea trilogy scene by scene. We're now looking at Deep Blue Sea adjacent films, or films with a Deep Blue scene. It's a scene that's similar to Deep Blue Sea in some way. And this is the third part in our Jurassic World trilogy, looking at the Deep Blue scenes of the Jurassic World trilogy. And today we've reached the most recent film, 2022's Jurassic World Dominion. There was three Deep Blue Sea adjacent scenes. We have the opening shot of the mosasaur, our old friend the mosasaur, taking out a shipping trawler.
What a jerk.
Then we have Claire facing
dinner.
off. Yes, absolutely. And we have Claire facing off against the Therizinosaurus, the blind,
AKA Freddy Kreuger dinosaur.
or salad fingers, or Wolverine, or any kind of long-fingered clawed creature, which is Deep Sea adjacent because she hides in the water. It's cool. And then we have Owen and Taylor taking on the Pyroraptor in the ice, the parrot dinosaur. So Dominion,
Chicken dinosaur.
So you and I have talked about Dominion before. We were guests on the Out Now with Aaron and Abe podcast with our friend of the show, Aaron, and not yet friend of the show, Abe, but friend of ours, Abe. I talked about this one.
We love this movie, Jay.
Yeah, great film. Dinosaurs. End of comment.
I was watching it. Megan's never seen it, my wife Megan, and so I was watching it during the Malta chase, and she goes, "What is happening?" And then later on, when I was watching with the Freddy Kreuger dinosaur, she's like, "What is happening?" And then later on, during another scene, she was like, "What is happening?" And that's the perfect thing about this movie. It's just a what is happening right now film. And Pyroraptor was named. The Pyroraptor is a small bird-like predator that potentially had feathers. It means fire thief, as it was found after a forest fire.
That's cool. It's a cool name. It's like, dinosaurs are cool. What's this dinosaur called? Pyroraptor. Hell yes, that's a badass name.
Oh, it's so good.
So it doesn't breathe fire, which would be cool. But it doesn't need to. It's fine.
That would make it more of an a-hole.
It would melt all the ice around them.
That would be such an a-hole move too, and it makes me happy. And also, Jay, speaking of the Therizinosaurus, your boy David Vickery, the ILM VFX supervisor, it's his favorite dinosaur of the entire franchise.
I mean, it is pretty awesome. It's huge. It's like 3 people tall. It's got this long neck, got this beak. It's kind of got furry feathers. They make it blind just for the hell of it, I think. Just for this cool tense sequence. And it's the freaking claws on this thing. I love it. Like, the way that it's a herbivore. So it walks up to a deer and just whacks it aside.
What a jerk.
I don't know what you are. You smell like a thing. Get out of my way.
That deer has zero situational awareness, by the way.
Which is unusual for deer. Especially in a dinosaur, sanctuary, as this is. You'd think it would have encountered one of the many carnivores before.
Yeah, and the thing wasn't even going slow. It was walking through the forest.
Again, it's blind. It's huge and blind. It doesn't. It's not sneaking up on you. It's just boof out of the way. I love it.
I love it so much. You're in the way of my bushes. And the guy said that it was a labor of love. And he said, working on the digital feathers, we built a new feather system at ILM and Houdini, which allowed us to procedurally generate all the feathers on the creature. Then it gave the artist the ability to simulate feathers in wind and water and snow and ice and bring all these simulations in the same piece of software. So they, like you said, Jay, you went to the, London Action Festival?
Yeah,
London Action Film Festival?
Where I saw Con Air with Simon West doing the Q&A. Before that, they did the Jurassic World Dominion VFX showcase. I know they did all the things. I had to create a whole new program and software. Because no one had ever done ice crystals forming on feathers before. On wet feathers, yeah.
And the Pyroraptor kept shaking off, like, oh, get all this stuff off me. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love this movie, Jay. Hey, I noticed you didn't mention, I could have brought this up to you earlier as opposed to bringing it up while we're recording, but what about the Dimetrodons, the cave swimmers? Do they not have enough of a scene?
I mean, they do. I didn't think about them as being as deep as adjacent as the rest of them. But yeah, the Dimetrodon are also pretty cool. Something we hadn't seen. That's what I really like about Dominion is just bring in all these new dinosaurs we haven't seen before into it. Like Fallen Kingdom, just kind of used the same ones we had before. A couple of new ones here and there, but mainly the old favorites. And this one, it's bringing in the Pyroraptor, Therizinosaurus. There's other raptors as well. I forget which ones they are. I think
Oh,
it's the Utah Raptors, is it?
they had a really mean sounded one too. I looked up all the dinosaur names, but I just pulled the ones for this episode. But the ones that are running around Malta are something like just like Legitosaurus or I'll murder you Saurus. Something that just makes them sound terrible.
Oh, Atrociraptor. That's the one.
Yeah.
The Atrociraptor. Which sounds like a child named it, but that's what they are. That's what they're called. They're called an Atrociraptor.
Sound like something from a Vin Diesel movie because it's so literal.
Yeah, it sounds like the kind of thing one of his characters would name a motorbike.
It's the Atrociraptor.
Yeah. So, and we get the Dreadnoughtus, just the huge, the behemoth of it. I think it's the biggest dinosaur ever known about.
I mean, with that name, it has to be Jay.
Yeah, it's the Iguanodon with the thumb.
Rate the water scenes.
Just in this film?
Yeah.
Or across the whole franchise?
Because there's a bunch of them. Yeah, no, just these. We'll talk about the three because the Dimetrodons, they don't really do much. They just sort of have a Jaws-esque intro.
They're another threat in the tunnels.
So
the cool thing with a big fin on the back.
I love it. So the the crab stealer, the lady in the water, and the swimming chicken dinosaur. How would you rank those?
Just well done on the lady in the water reference. A film I'd love to cover on this show.
Let's do it. I love it. I love when M. Night swings.
And that is a swing, and I appreciate every second of that ridiculous film. And so I've got to put the Mosasaurus the trawler at the bottom of the list, just because it's quite a short sequence. We've seen it jump up and grab things before. Nothing against it. I love it. But that's at the bottom. It's the shortest sequence. It's just kind of, this thing's still here, still taking out boats, still wrecking havoc. Who knows where in the timeline this is? As we discussed last time, it has to be. It can't be the same time as the rest of it. It has to be like years earlier. It doesn't make any sense. That thing is dead now.
You think they would have tagged the Mosasaurus by now, at least to just say, hey, crab fisherman, the Mosasaurus is 30 miles away, 20 kilometers away, or whatever nautical miles. Like, get out of there.
Got to. Because like that's the one they can't take this up into the mountains of Italy they're in, aren't they? Like I'm pretty sure the ocean doesn't go there.
Up in the mountains of Italy?
Yeah, probably not. But they don't get a lot of oceans in mountains. So
I feel like it's the other way around.
Yeah,
they feed into the ocean.
So maybe
rivers and lakes.
Maybe they've managed to capture the mosasaur in some other kind of lagoon. Maybe it's near Italy. Maybe like between Italy and Cyprus, they built a giant wall.
It's like a Kong scenario.
Yeah,
like Monarch,
Kong or Escape from New York or something where they just like trap this thing and it's going to be here, and then they just feed it. I don't know what. Hopefully not great white sharks.
Fishermen.
Yeah, just bad people. So that's bottom of my list. Then I think it's tough to pick between the other two because I love both of those scenes so much. I think I'm gonna go with the Pyroraptor scene next, just because I love the scene. I do like that Owen and Kayla, they're still kind of getting to know each other. And they realize it's
great scene.
It's a real tense situation because they're trying to walk on this ice that's not very thick. And so to kind of take their mind off of this deadly situation, they're like, hey, what's your backstory? What are you doing? It's like fighting death with every step.
And I like how he says thank you to her. And then they both go, you know what? We like each other. We're buds now.
Yeah, because he saves her from falling in. And when he does fall in, she helps pull him out.
And then she pulls out a taser, he pulls out a knife, and then the swimming chicken dinosaur just jumps in the water. Yeah. And the great overhead shot. Oh.
It's a fun scene. That I think I want it to go on a little bit longer, I guess. And she's got a long film already. But.
Nope. And they went from not walking on the ice, Jay, to full on sprinting.
Funny.
Just, I guess, you got to have confidence. When you have confidence, you can do it. But I love that she goes, nope.
Yeah, just pegs it. And then the Claire with the Therizinosaurus is top of my list. It's a silent scene. I appreciate a dialogue-free scene. Yes, she's got no one to talk to. But even still, she has to be quiet because, again, it's a giant blind monster. And it's such a tense sequence, and you know she's going to get out fine. She hasn't accomplished her arc of the film, but she's like there to go and save the kid. So you know she's not going to be taken out by this blind Freddy Kreuger. But it's still very tense, and it's the creeping, and it's the crawling. It's going into the water, a great move. Then when it screams at the surface of the lake, and you just pan down, and she's there terrified underneath. I think that's a great shot. I love the scene.
My notes read, Freddy Kreuger dinosaur, kills deer, sound design, breathing, eats plants, follows into water, and I wrote incredible for some reason. Then I wrote great shot, her underwater, then I put breeze on water, and then I wrote a swear word, so I'll just say shoot. But she was underwater for a solid 31 seconds.
Right. And it's not pleasant
breeze
water.
On the water.
It's green. It's algae on it. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, if she has a cut, she's getting infected. Something's getting infected in that water. But I love when it breathes on the water because it's like the ripples that it creates. It's a good shot, man. It's a fun shot. It's a horror shot. It's a bonker. There's a chase in Malta, Jay. Come on now. And there's a swimming chicken dinosaur. That's apparently an a-hole.
My main problem with the film, if I have to pick one, and I don't, but is not enough people die.
No, not enough.
There's a lot of characters. Like towards the end of the film, I think there's 9 named characters who are like in this area full of dinosaurs trying to kill them, and they all get out. Like, that shouldn't happen. I get it. They're all massive stars at this. They're mostly massive stars, but they've introduced 2 new characters, and they've got one who's been a villain in the past. Mm-hmm. Like like in any other film, he'd be like, take this, save the world, and then he'd be taken out. He'd like pass on the mission to the child or something. He wouldn't make it out, but BD1 gets out of the film.
With the cardigan.
The locusts. With that ridiculous cardigan.
And you know what's nuts is that those locusts, they said that those locusts destroyed states worth of crops. You know the shortages that would occur for feeding, a lot of those go for feeding animals, a lot of those go for, biodiesel, a lot of those go for overseas. Like let's say all the soy gets disrupted, that doesn't go to, like my family, they have a farm, they sell a lot of their soy to either China or Japan. They have a lot of oats that they sell to other companies. A lot of their corn goes to feed or to ethanol. So you know how much money and displacement and shortages would happen because of those gigantic genetically modified locusts? That's a subplot. They're basically making like a Monsanto dig in this movie, which is totally unnecessary. But there's still a cardigan and BD Wong in the field saving the world. So I guess it's worth it.
So many locusts and they're huge.
Yeah.
So this is a very real problem.
Swimming chicken dinosaur, Jay.
Yeah.
It has personality.
Is your scene ranking the same as mine?
No, I got swimming chicken dinosaur. If there was an overhead shot of Freddy Kreuger, then I'd probably give it to Freddy Kreuger. But I love the overhead shot. And I also love, this is really important too, is that both these dinosaurs have personalities. Like this is, like the Indoraptor that they establish in the second one, it doesn't have a personality at all. It's just a jerk. There's no personality whatsoever. But these two have it. You have the swimming chicken dinosaur shaking itself off, and it's, when Kayla tases it, it's like it's annoyed at her. Like the thing is like a rabid dinosaur cat swimming chicken dinosaur that has a personality. And then Freddy Kreuger dinosaur whacks the deer for no reason, eats some shrubs, hangs out with Bryce Dallas Howard for a little bit, breathes on the water, and then comes back and just smacks around a giant dinosaur. They have personality, man. Like that's why I love this movie. These two dinosaurs have personality, and there's so many dinosaurs. I love it. I loved hearing Megan's reaction. She was like, what is that? Is she free running? Is that Chris Pratt on a dirt bike? Like what? Wait, yeah. And she's like, did that dinosaur survive the fall? Because I feel bad for it. Like, is that and then she's like, is that the lady from Altered Carbon? Like, this movie's insane, Jay. And it just has a swimming chicken dinosaur. So that makes me happy.
Me too. I watched it this past weekend with my in-laws, and they had no reaction to anything.
Oh, they didn't like it?
No, they just kind of watched it. There was no commentary at all. There was like, what the hell? It was just a kind of passive watch. So you had a much better experience watching it with Megan.
Man, swimming chicken dinosaurs. beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know how you can watch that and not be thrilled. There we are.
And I like Kayla too, and I like Ramsey. I like that Bryce Dallas Howard's a free runner. Like and then she sticks that pole between those two cars and then clotheslines a dinosaur. Then a dinosaur's like, oh, I'm hurt. Like, it's not the dinosaur's fault. There's a black market dinosaur bin where Chris Pratt fights a guy with a knife. 2 dinosaurs bite that guy's arms, and then another dinosaur comes out and murders him. It's a violent film, Jay.
Yeah, that whole it's kind of like the troll market from Hellboy 2.
Yeah.
The sequence of there's so much going on down there. You got to watch it a few times just to pick out. Wait, what's going on back there? It's like fighting dinosaurs. It's a fun scene. I do feel like Navarro was like, this is probably the last one these are going to get to make. I'm going to put all the dinosaurs I like in here. I'm just going to do everything I can. Which does mean that the film is 2.5 hours long, which is a little too long, I think. But
yeah, it's way too long.
They could have maybe cut out some of the characters. I don't know. I didn't know if we needed to have Franklin and Zia back. I didn't particularly like them in Fallen Kingdom, but there we are.
And he's really annoyed at them too. Like, he's like, oh,
he's always annoyed. He's annoying. He's annoying and annoyed in the last film every time. He's just he's again back on Fallen Kingdom. Rayona didn't like dinosaurs, and then he puts in his character who also doesn't seem to like dinosaurs. I want to be there. I want to see someone who doesn't want to be there. I want to be there. I want the people who are there to be there. I want to be there.
Yeah, the lady though, she was in, I forget her name, but she was in Plane, which made me happy.
Daniela Pineda?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Plane's a good movie, man.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will.
I guess you could rent it, but it's so much fun. It's so good.
I kept wanting between that and Megan to see it.
Have you seen that sketch on Mr. Show? We've talked about this, where they're trying to sell, like some guy shows up and he keeps trying to sell Bob Odenkirk and David Cross stuff. He's like, you want some speakers? And then they're like, yeah. He's like, oh, I got some mashed potatoes. You want some mashed potatoes? And they're like, yeah. So I was hoping I would see all 3 of them in the dinosaur black market, but I didn't. It's kind of a bummer.
They could be in there somewhere. Just, they could keep zooming in. They're in the background somewhere.
You want some dinosaurs? Yeah. That'd be amazing. Sorry. You've never seen that sketch?
I don't think I've seen anything of Mr. Show at all. That's one of those sketch shows that just kind of didn't make it here, or I didn't catch it at all. I don't know. I like Odenkirk, I like Cross. So
this dude's just selling him stuff, and then he tries to sell mashed potatoes, and it's pretty great. Makes me happy.
Mashed potatoes.
Would you buy mashed potatoes from someone else's house?
I mean, I think it would depend. I have some questions. I need to know what kind of potatoes they've used. If it's Merrin's Piper, then maybe. If it's like King Edward, then definitely not. So I'd have some questions. Like, what kind of, is there any cheese in it? There better be. And if so, what kind?
You cheese your mashed potatoes?
Of course. You don't?
I only cheese potatoes when I have a baked potato. But if it's loose potatoes, never cheese.
I will not eat mashed potatoes that's not cheesed.
Really?
Mashed potato for me, it has milk, it has butter, it has cheese in it. And salt, pepper.
You live life on the edge, my friend.
the edge of obesity.
Can I read you my Pyroraptor notes?
Please.
All right, so Pyroraptor Trevorrow wanted feathers. Thank you. Taser knife, swimming chicken dinosaur, a-hole, looks great, shakes off, jumps into water, overhead shot with, let me count them. I wrote overhead shot with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 exclamation points. And then I wrote nope. Then I wrote running on ice, underwater, circles him, pulls him up. I wrote gotta be cold. Slow motion. Yeah. Oh, the slow motion jump out of the water, Jay. And then I put walkway, climbs through, anger taser, and I put growls like cat. And then you good? Yeah, not shook at all. That was my notes.
I had no idea what you were counting.
Exclamation points for the overhead shot. Oh,
I get it now. But when you were counting, what is it like? Cracks you can see in the no, that can't be it. I can't see any. It's like seconds.
I put 27 exclamation points. Overhead shot, bruh. Crawls is better, but still. But yeah, I like it. I like that there's an anger taser. I like that it growls like a cat. Makes me happy.
The crawl shot is great.
Crawls
do crawl.
$12.5 million budget, Jay. 12.5.
12.5 million exclamation marks on that.
Like, Black Adam cost $260 million to make.
And I will never see it.
And Crawl made would cost $12.5 million to make. Yeah,
I've already seen it twice.
Yeah. Alejandro Aja is just a beautiful director. Listen to our Piranha 3D episode. But yeah, it's Crawl. Oh, I love Crawl. Because, Jay, like, who's making movies that look that good that are that much fun for that little money? Well, James Wan. No, Malignant was $40 million. I'm talking to myself.
I can't think of anyone.
No, it's beautiful.
How much did Megan cost?
See you later, crocodile. See you later, alligator. At the end of the movie. Oh my gosh.
See you later, alligator.
It's beautiful. What a movie.
Megan cost $12 million. That film looks good. It's got a robot in it. You haven't seen it yet, but yeah, Megan looks that kind of quality. It's just a different kind of. I think there's less CGI than in Crawl.
Well, the guy who made it made Housebound, and he's a mad genius, so I give him props too.
The best kind.
Yeah, I love it.
Should I track down Housebound? I've never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a New Zealand horror comedy, and it's very fun.
Okay, I will seek that out.
Worth a watch. For sure. Anything else?
Just one other quick note on the Pyroactor is when they're running along the little walkway, the little skid into the railings because it's icy. I like that. Because it's like chasing them and they go around a corner and it just kind of skids into it. It's nice.
And then it just growls at them.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I know some people who don't like this film, and IMDb it's rated lower than Fallen Kingdom. This is a crime. But it's fun. I like it a lot. It's made it in my top 10 of the year. Last year's maybe a little high. Top 20 is probably better. But I mean, I like the dinosaurs. I'm biased.
Yeah, do you think if it came out before Fallen Kingdom, people would like it more?
I think so. You'd have more Clone Child to explain. But I'm just that'll be a real skip over this point.
Okay, if Fallen Kingdom was better, according to us, and audiences, it made a lot of money, but if audiences were like, yo, Fallen Kingdom was the bomb, do you think people would like Dominion more?
I think so. Yeah, because I feel like they brought back Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum because Fallen Kingdom got bad reviews. I think this was kind of a way to redeem the franchise, perhaps.
Man, Fallen Kingdom did the damage. That dude did not like dinosaurs.
It's just, it should be a prerequisite for making one of these films. I don't understand.
Just that Chewie accent. There's no Ray Spall accent in this movie, which makes me happy.
There's not. I mean, you only really get Campbell Scott as the bad guy, and he's not prominent. Yeah, he's doing a Elon Musk, Steve Jobs kind of thing, isn't he?
He's so petulant. It makes me happy.
But he's an underwhelming bad guy, I think. He doesn't really get a lot to do other than just kind of be threatening in the background and be kind of awkward.
And what are you doing here? Like, he'll say that to people.
Do you have my bars? And then he dies. So that's what this film is missing, is a better villain, I think.
Chris Pratt chokes a spitting dinosaur in this movie. And it's amazing. The Dilophosaur. Chris Pratt just grabs it by the throat, and it's like, ugh. And then he lets it go. He's like, get out of here. It's amazing.
That's what you do. That's how you deal with these things.
I like that they didn't kill it. He's like, just get out of here.
They like dinosaurs.
Get out of here, you rapscallion.
Yeah, we're introduced to in this one. He's herding the Parasaurolophus. I think that's one I could have to what he's saying. He's herding those ones. Parasaurolophus. Parasaurolophus. It's got an extra syllable I don't like in there. He's herding them, and he's doing the stupid hand thing that annoys me a little bit in this film, where he uses the hand thing to every dinosaur, which should not work because it only works because he's trained Blue. He's trained Blue to respect the hand, and he hasn't trained
he does that during
anything
arguments?
Else. Sorry?
Do you think he does that during arguments with Bryce Dallas Howard?
I hope so.
He's at a coffee place and someone gets snippy with him.
Hey, Hey,
Why do I want to
settle
obey you all of
down.
a sudden? Why am I obeying you?
Sun's getting real low.
Him and ScarJo would just have their hands out to people. Stop. He'd be great at a traffic way, like a traffic stop, if the lights are out.
But no one would start again because he'd put his hand up to stop them, and they'd fall asleep. They just could pass out. He'd just get a pile of unconscious people.
He's using the Force. I mean, if it could work on dinosaurs, he'd just be dropping people left and right.
Oh, I don't need Chris Pratt in a Star Wars film. That doesn't need to happen.
You know, I went through his whole filmography, and watching him in movies like Moneyball, Zero Dark 30, makes me realize he has it, but I don't think he wants it. I think he wants to be, like Tomorrow War, but I think he wants to do more of like a Dwayne Johnson type thing. Well, Terminal List annoyed a lot of people, but I think he wants to play it safe now.
Which is a shame.
He was in Her. He was good in Her. He had a weird little character.
Like, he's great in Wanted.
Oh yeah.
It's just the horrendous friend. He's like quite great in that.
Like, Take Me Home Tonight. He's a jerk boyfriend again.
He's great, a bit of a jerk. Which is why, like, when he's an action hero, he still has a bit of jerkiness to him. He's hard. I find him hard to root for.
He kind of has this saccharine, though. Like, I don't like the saccharine. Like in Lost World, Jurassic World, he is kind of a saccharine smart Alec.
Yeah.
He is not the wanted smart Alec. He's not Barry.
Like in Passengers, a terrible film.
Oh, I have a question for you. Who could make that not creepy? Chris Evans, Chris Pine, Chris Hemsworth, or Chris Pratt? Who would make it the least creepy?
I was going to say Bill Nye, if I could pick anyone. Just because he's the least creepy person ever. Even though I love Actually.
Because I'm lonely. Okay, cool, Bill Nye. Let's party.
So which Chris would make Passengers the least creepy? I feel they can all play creepy. Like, I would have said Chris Evans, but then you have like Knives Out, where he's like such a jerk.
And Fierce People. Have you heard about that movie? Look it up.
I will do. Like the Grey Man. Very disappointing film, but he's a jerk in it.
It's not even a movie.
It's Chris Pine. When's he been a jerk? He's been like
Don't Worry, Darling.
In Smoking Aces. He's a delight in, but still not like a jerk. Just kind of a guy you'd cross the street to avoid.
He said, "I'm charming, not sincere."
Yeah.
Like he's good in that. I think he could do it because I think he could pull off the inner turmoil of doing what he did. Like Pratt, when he does it, he's just like, "Oh, I'm, hey." Like Evans would need a level of creepy. So Hemsworth was good in Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yes, phenomenal. Yeah.
I'm going for Pine though.
Yeah, I think Pine's the right choice there. There we go. Let's remake Passengers with Chris Pine and a different Jennifer as well.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
They're good together in Star Trek.
I feel like if we keep it,
but then flip
Chris,
it.
It should be a different
Wait,
Jennifer.
no.
Okay.
Gal Gadot in Passengers. Gal Gadot wakes up Chris Pine, like in Wonder Woman 1984.
I was gonna say if we want to keep it as a Jennifer, then we have it as Chris Pine and Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Cut the check.
Yeah, let's go. Moving on. So that's our talk on Jurassic World Dominion, amongst other things. Mark, any plugs?
Just movies, films, and flicks. I joined the Too Fast, Too Furious podcast. We talked about The Last Witch Hunter. So go look that up. And I also was on the Out Now with Aaron and Abe podcast. We did the horror awards, and I really loved that episode. So hunt that down. We talk about a lot of cool episodes. And then also listen to Con Air, the podcast.
Yes, do that. And it's not out yet, but by the time this goes up, it should be. I was on the Popcorn Auteur to talk about all of Shane Black's films that he wrote and directed. So that was a fun time. And you can hear me over on Movie Rob Minutes on the first week of When Harry Met Sally. 5 episodes in a run. And by the time this comes out, we should have. I think our Bowfinger Minutes might be out by the time this comes out. So we guested on Bowfinger Minute in a week of those. So look for Bowfinger Minute on all places podcasts can be found. And you can read my writing over at lifeversusfilm.com. You can find all of Mark's other movies, films, and flicks. So for Jurassic World Dominion, I have been Jake Lewitt.
No, Mark Hoffmeyer.
We'll Deep Blue see you again soon.
Swimming chicken dinosaur.